Now let's talk about a subject that's been getting a lot of attention lately, the Iraqi dinar. Did you know that the Iraqi dinar is catching the eye of investors worldwide? There's been a growing buzz surrounding the potential for a big shift in its value. People from all corners of the globe are keeping an eye on this currency, and many believe that something major is coming, something that could change the game entirely. What exactly is going on with the Iraqi dinar? Well, today we're going to dive deep into this topic and break it all down so you can understand why everyone's talking about it and why it's so important right now. So why is this reform happening now? Let's start with the basics. The Iraqi dinar has a history of volatility, and it's often met with skepticism in the international markets. However, recent developments have sparked some serious interest. The Iraqi government has hinted at a potential change in the dinar's exchange rate, and this news has caught the attention of locals, investors, and the international community alike. Now you might be wondering, why now? Well, Iraq's economy has faced a series of hurdles over the years, from political instability to fluctuating oil prices. These challenges have made it difficult for the country to find long-term stability and growth. But now, Iraq is in the process of making some significant economic reforms, and the change in the exchange rate is a key part of this effort. This monetary reform is not just about fixing the exchange rate, it's part of a broader strategy to stabilize and expand Iraq's economy. The government is looking for ways to attract more investment, grow local businesses, and improve the overall financial environment. And this change could potentially be the catalyst for all of that. But what could this new exchange rate mean for the Iraqi dinar? Historically, the Iraqi dinar has been undervalued compared to other global currencies. Over the years, it has suffered from inflation and a lack of confidence in its long-term stability. Some experts believe that with the right reforms in place, the dinar could see a significant increase in value. And when currencies increase in value, it can create some very interesting outcomes. For instance, have you ever seen a currency suddenly jump in value overnight? It can be quite an exciting phenomenon. In the case of the Iraqi dinar, if its value appreciates, it could have a ripple effect on everything from purchasing power to foreign investments. The potential benefits could extend beyond just Iraq's borders, potentially attracting more international businesses to invest in the region. However, we need to keep things in perspective. While it's exciting to think about the potential for the dinar to increase in value, it's important to remember that changes in currency value don't happen in a vacuum. They're influenced by a range of factors, many of which are global in nature. One of the most important factors is the global oil market. Oil has long been the backbone of Iraq's economy, and any shift in oil prices tends to have a direct effect on the dinar. When oil prices rise, so does optimism regarding Iraq's financial prospects and, by extension, the dinar's value. So, if oil prices continue to climb, it could trigger a positive cycle for the dinar. That said, there are also risks involved. While many people are excited about these reforms, we also have to acknowledge that currency reforms can bring uncertainty and volatility. Investors need to be very careful and understand the risks before making any decisions. This is not a time for hasty action. Additionally, there are geopolitical risks to consider. Changes in government leadership, new policies, or shifts in the political landscape could potentially delay or derail the planned reforms. It's crucial to stay on top of these developments and make sure you're up to date with the latest information from reliable sources. So, what opportunities are available for those looking to get involved? If you're considering investing or just want to stay informed, there are a few steps you can take. First, it's essential to stay connected with trustworthy news sources that cover Iraq's economy. The more you know, the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions. You can also engage in online forums or communities where people discuss the dinar and its potential. These spaces can provide valuable insights, and you can learn from others who are closely following the situation. Another option is to consult financial experts who are familiar with Middle Eastern economies. Their insights can help you understand the bigger picture and make better decisions. At this stage, you might be wondering, what can I do right now? Well, there's nothing wrong with being proactive. Start your research. Keep an eye on any new developments, and be ready to adapt your strategy as more news comes in. You don't have to rush in, but you do need to be prepared when the right moment comes. It's not just about knowing when to act, but also when to wait. Sometimes patience can be just as valuable as taking action. Keep your ear to the ground, stay on top of rumors, and keep an eye on any new developments that could impact the dinar's value. Information is key here, and it's important to act thoughtfully and strategically. Let's shift gears and talk about the currency exchange process. For anyone unfamiliar with how this works, Here's a simple breakdown. When you decide to exchange your Iraqi dinar for US dollars at a bank, the first thing the bank will do is assess the current exchange rate. Now, the exchange rate can change pretty quickly, by the day, hour, or even minute, so you'll want to be aware of that when you make your decision. If you're exchanging a significant amount of dinars, let's say 1 million, what does that look like? Rather than walking out of the bank with a huge pile of cash, you'll receive an electronic credit to your account. It's a much safer and more convenient way to handle the exchange. Carrying around large sums of cash can be risky, but with electronic transfers, you don't have to worry about that. Plus, it's much faster. In most cases, once you complete the transaction, the exchange will be processed within minutes, thanks to modern electronic banking systems. You might be thinking, what if it takes longer? While most banks will process the exchange quickly, there are a few factors that could cause a delay. For example, if you're exchanging a very large sum of money, or if there's a high volume of exchanges happening at the same time, that could slow things down. But for the most part, you can expect the funds to be available almost immediately. Now let's discuss what happens after the exchange. Once your funds are electronically credited to your account, you can start using them right away, depending on your bank's policies. Most banks will allow you to access your funds through electronic methods such as debit cards or online banking. However, be sure to check with your bank to make sure there are no specific requirements or restrictions that could impact how soon you can use the funds. If you've ever had to wait for funds to clear after a transfer, you know how frustrating that can be. That's why understanding your bank's systems is so important. Some banks even offer services where you can see your funds in your account before they're fully cleared, so you can plan your transactions in advance. Just keep in mind that while electronic transactions are quick, they're not infallible. Sometimes errors happen, and if you encounter a problem, it's essential to contact your bank immediately. Another factor to keep in mind is fees or commissions. When exchanging currency, most banks will charge a fee or offer you a slightly lower exchange rate to make a profit. It's essential to understand these fees up front so you're not caught off guard later on. Knowing what to expect in terms of rates and fees will help you better understand how much money you'll actually have after the exchange. Lastly, let's talk about the pros and cons of exchanging currency at a bank versus online. Each option has its benefits. Exchanging currency in person at a bank is great if you need immediate access to your funds, especially for larger amounts. On the other hand, online currency exchanges may be more convenient, but they could take longer for the funds to appear in your account. Make sure you weigh your options carefully and always prioritize security. Only use reputable services to ensure your transaction is safe and secure. As we wrap up today's video, think about the potential reforms to the Iraqi dinar and what they could mean for you. There's a lot to consider, and staying informed is absolutely crucial. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the future of the Iraqi dinar. Do you think its value will rise soon? Drop your comments below. I look forward to reading them. Remember, staying informed is your best tool when it comes to navigating these changes. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.